Oh my God, we're live. Welcome
Ah.
in to It's Always Sunny in Chiefs Kingdom. The
It's draft
Patriots
night.
are trading back, but who are they trading to?
Oh, the drama, Austin. There's so much drama. We
Dude,
were
we
trying
have
to
so
wait for
much.
pick 25, and we just had to go now.
Oh, we have so much to recap. We don't know who the Patriots are trading back to. If they are trading back to the Chiefs, then boy, we'll be on the board. I don't know. We'll see what it is. But this has been a bananas night. And while we wait to see who the Patriots are trading back to, I mean, Hollywood Brown, AJ Brown, both traded for like similar comp. I just
Insane. And AJ Brown's now an Eagle. That was extremely surprising. Hollywood Brown, I can't believe that the Ravens got 23.
Hey,
Puppy Lawrence 2014.
hey, Chiefs are on the clock, baby.
Chiefs are on the clock. We
Oh
got
my
the
God,
pick.
pick
We're going to get
21.
Jermaine Johnson.
It's got to be Jermaine Johnson.
It's got to be
Jermaine Johnson. If the Chiefs get Jermaine Johnson here, I'm going to freak out. I mean, the Patriots, we knew, I just tweeted about 10 minutes ago, like the Patriots are going to fucking get Jermaine Johnson. They traded back. Bill loves to trade back. He's going to take some D2 safety with our pick, and that's fine. We're on the clock. We're in zone, baby.
This will be fun. Jermaine Johnson obviously has slid dramatically. I mean, if they end up getting him, this Florida State edge was the edge 4 or 5 on most people's boards. You know, after kind of the big three, Walker and Thibodeau, obviously, and Hutchinson. So, I mean, this would be a massive get for Brett Veach.
I mean, it would be bananas. At 21, I mean, I didn't even include him when I did my little draft heart emoji tweet thing earlier today. Didn't even include Jermaine Johnson. Didn't think there was any chance he'd fall to us.
I mean, there was just no way. Hi to all of our birds of war that are on here. We've got Ryan and E. Lawrence and Mr. Fetus. Hey, guys.
What's going on, guys? First ever Always Sunny in Chiefs Kingdom live show. Not counting the time we were on the Raider Cody podcast, which was, I think, live.
It was, and it was fun. I mean,
it was fine. We're coming to you live from the Bellagio.
What's up, What's going on, buddy?
Oh, my God. You guys, I just...
Yes, Green Spectre, the draft is nuts. I mean, it started off, Austin and I were saying this before we went live. It was calm for 10 picks. There were just guys doing normal stuff.
Here's the comp. All the Chiefs give up 29, 94, and 121 for
Let's
pick 21.
do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We still got pick 30 on the board. So hopefully, I mean, this has got to be Jermaine Johnson.
It better be.
Or George Pickens? Would you be okay with George Pickens?
Washington cornerback, Trent McDuffie with the 21st pick. We traded up for a cornerback. What? Brett Veach, you crazy.
I mean, okay.
I like McDuffie. He's a little bit of a smaller guy, but like good cornerback. Like by all accounts, the cornerback 3 in this class by I think consensus rankings, and I know you can pull those up.
Yes, so
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we traded up for a cornerback. We traded up for a cornerback. Those words don't even make sense.
KCSN has him as 4, Sports Illustrated has him at 3, and The Athletic has him as 2. And the PFF write-up on him is, outside of length, McDuffie has everything you could want from a high-end cornerback at 5'11". He plays consistently bigger than his listed size. He allowed only 16 catches on 36 targets for 111 yards and no scores in 2021. So he was shut down awesome for Washington.
I mean, we desperately needed a DB. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that this is the pick. And obviously, we would have loved Jermaine Johnson. Chiefs could still trade up again. We still have a ton of picks.
Why is Jermaine Johnson sliding this far?
I don't know. But I mean, Trent McDuffie, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fun. That's definitely.
I'm stunned. I like
that a corner and an edge weren't the first pick.
What was his highest drafted cornerback before this? 4th round, L'Jarius Sneed, I think.
Sneed has to
in the fourth round.
Yeah.
And here he is trading up to get a cornerback at 21. That is
I mean, they knew they needed the help. With Ward leaving and with the cornerback room being as shallow as it is, he's a nice player. I mean, this is fun. This is definitely not a guy that I expected to be talking about for us. But
no, but I mean, good player. And I mean, this is going to be really interesting. Now it gets into, obviously, the Chiefs still have 30. I mean, we're only 8 picks away from that. And we have to get past the Baltimore Ravens, who are going to, I'm sure, take somebody who's really good, and it's going to be incredibly annoying, and we're going to hate it. We've got to get past the Packers, who have very similar needs to the
Packers
Chiefs.
are now here at 22. The Bills are at
Packers
25. They're probably taking a running back, right? That's
I don't think they're going to take a running
Walking?
back. I actually think the Bills were probably going to take a cornerback. So I think we probably swooped. I think the Bills were one of the teams that we were probably trading in front of. I don't think the Packers were going to take a cornerback. Patriots could have, but then they had to have known that that was a possibility for us to trade up to take a cornerback.
Green Spectre says
we have to talk about this Arizona pick really quick, because the pick that was pick 23.
Okay.
Because this was batshit. We roasted the fuck out of Bill Barnwell a couple of weeks ago for that outrageous McCole Hardman and a first-round pick for Hollywood Brown trade. And this was like not that far off. I mean, McCole Hardman wasn't in it, but they traded pick number 23 for Hollywood Brown, who's in the second to last year of his deal, and he's not even good.
And Ravens fans are actually mad about it, which is insane.
Lamar is pissed. Yeah, I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Trade calculator gives the Patriots a bit of an advantage over the Chiefs in that trade. I mean, it was picks 94 and 121 to move up 8 spots.
Yeah. And there's almost no chance. I mean, like, there are some players that were going to slip. If you're going to move up from 29 to 21, it's got to be for a guy that had no chance of making it to you at 29. I don't think there's any chance that McDuffie was going to make it past the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Bills. Like, those are all teams that absolutely would have taken a cornerback. Like, I mean, it had to have been, and after the first 2 cornerbacks went with the 3rd and 4th overall picks, he's the 3rd cornerback taken in this draft, right?
Yes.
He's just the 3rd guy off the board?
Yep.
I mean, getting the 3rd cornerback off the board when you had 2 guys go in the top 4 picks for pretty decent trade value. I mean,
Stingley and Sauce, obviously.
Yeah, a different tier.
Yeah, different tier. But other than him, Andrew Booth was still on the board, and Kaiir Elam, and that's really the only guys that have any type of juice that
and
McDuffie had.
Booth was coming off of an injury, and actually, I think it was. I don't remember. It was one of our Birds of War that pointed this out to me on Twitter. They did not bring him in for one of those 30 for 30 visits. So that was a pretty significant tell, I think, for Booth that he was not going to be on the Chiefs board, at least not this early, because you'd think that if they were going to take a guy coming off of a pretty serious injury in Booth, that they would have had him in. They obviously brought in guys like Pickens, and they brought in Jameson Williams, RIP. The dream.
Detroit decided that they wanted Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams, which is going to probably
and Jared Goff, that is what it is. But you know what? They still have Malik Willis on the board. They could maybe trade up for him. This has just been a preposterous draft. We haven't even really talked about AJ Brown, other than to mention that AJ Brown was traded, which is, I mean, on the one hand, like, it makes me feel good about what the Chiefs got for Tyreek Hill, because the Chiefs definitely got better compensation for Tyreek Hill than the Titans got for AJ Brown. And obviously Tyreek Hill's a better player than AJ Brown, but it's not a dramatic difference. AJ Brown is really good. And he's also 5 years younger. Yeah. Now you still have to pay him, but even $100 million with $57 million guaranteed, 25 APY, that's obviously, higher than the Chiefs were willing to go for Tyreek Hill. Deebo Samuel's still out there. I don't know.
Now that all these first rounders have gone, I mean,
do you think Trent McDuffie was one of the
Bills moved up to 23?
Interesting. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, who to 23?
Yeah,
with the Ravens. Who
yes.
did the Packers take?
They haven't taken it. The Bills moved up before the Packers have taken the 22.
Interesting. Well, that's interesting. Well, they're not going to move up for running back. I wonder if we're going to see a little run on cornerbacks here. I wonder if we just started. I wonder if Brett Veach
started
a run on cornerbacks.
Love starting a run.
Looks like the Packers got Quay Walker, linebacker.
Quay Walker. Yes. So Quay Walker.
Man, Aaron Rodgers right now is going nuts.
Quay Walker is a linebacker that was kind of low. Linebackers between 7 and 11. Also, PFF liked him at linebacker 4.
They did, and he's been moving up the board. He was kind of the second linebacker at Georgia behind Nakobe Dean, right? Like I think he was actually the lower rated of the two, but I had heard that he was moving up the board, and he's now I think he's the first off-ball linebacker to go in the draft, is he not?
He is.
Yeah.
PFF said Walker's one of the best run and hit linebackers in the class. Give him freedom to play fast, and he'll excel. He's both speedy at 240 pounds, one of the best tacklers in the class, having missed only 7 games.
I can't believe the Packers. I can't believe they traded away Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And used the pick to take an off-ball linebacker.
I'm sure
not
Aaron
even
Rodgers
like
is very happy with that.
Not even the top guy. I'm fascinated by this Bills trade up. They traded up one spot. I mean, essentially 2 spots.
Yeah, they had 25.
You're taking Baltimore's pick. They traded ahead essentially of Baltimore and the Cowboys. I'm fascinated to see what they're going to do here.
Oh, no, they still have 25 according to this track.
What are they doing?
The Bills have traded up, but it doesn't say what the comp is yet. The tracker maybe just doesn't know the comp, so it still hasn't filled in at 25. I bet they had to have used 25 to trade.
You'd think, but unless they're trading away picks from next year, unless they're trading away maybe a first from next year, which is possible. Trent McDuffie's relative athletic score. Taylor, are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Overall, his RAS 9.49, so a 94th, almost a 95th percentile athlete.
Yeah,
pretty good. Pretty good.
Really good.
Size, composite size grade is okay. His height, he's 5'10", 5'10" and a half, which is 49th percentile, about 50th percentile for corners. A little bit smaller guy, like I said. 193 is his weight. That's 67th percentile. His bench, 15 reps. That's 69th percentile.
Nice.
Very nice.
But
the speed is fantastic. His 40 time 4.4, that's 84th percentile. His 20-yard split is actually 89th percentile at a 2.56. 10-yard split, 87th percentile.
Now, Austin, I heard speed has something to do with it.
Speed has everything to do with it. He does have T-Rex arms a little bit. He's got 29-inch arms, which for, corner, like that's not quite as much length, which is interesting because I feel like this is sort of anecdotal. I've not researched this, but I feel like the tracker's been updated. The Ravens are indeed swapping.
I saw that they gave up pick 130 and 25 to go up to 23.
Interesting. Well, good for the Ravens, I guess. Sure. That is a well-run organization. Whenever you're out there trading away Hollywood Brown for the 23rd overall pick and then getting another pick from that, I hate them. I hate them. But they also alienated Lamar Jackson. So like, are we really seeing them win? McDuffie, just to round this out. To round this out, his composite explosion grade, elite. The vertical, 38.5, that is 87th percentile. The broad jump, 10.08, that is 90th percentile. So we've got a guy with a lot of burst, a lot of athleticism, a little bit smaller, short arms, but very athletic and just good. I mean, he's just a good player. He's just a good player.
We've got a couple of write-ups on McDuffie. I'll share a little blurb from the KCSN draft guide, which is excellent stuff. We obviously have been leaning heavily on them.
Bills are indeed, sorry to interrupt you,
but
the Bills indeed, they jump in front of the Cowboys to select Florida cornerback Kaiir Elam.
So
the Chiefs, look at the Chiefs setting off a run on cornerbacks.
What
year is it? What is going on in 2022?
Speaking
of
crazy
shit going on.
How McDuffie fits with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie is next in line on the Washington cornerback pipeline, and he enters the league the same way as most of them did. Highly intelligent, feisty, undersized a bit, but also pairs top-end athleticism with that profile. Looking at what the Chiefs like in their cornerback prospects and how they use them on the field, McDuffie makes a ton of sense for them in some respects. His limitations as a boundary corner, given his size, could cause hesitation for the Chiefs, while his intelligence and ability to play any coverage would allow them to remain multiple on the back end. Team fit medium. So they didn't quite see that as a slam dunk. They had a second-round grade on him, but, the grades don't always match up with how the board is falling. In general, though, I mean, I think this is a really fun pick for the Chiefs. And now that Quay Walker went to Green Bay, and now that the Bills, you're right. I can't believe the Chiefs started a run on corners.
I mean,
that is some fun. I mean, who would have guessed that?
Yeah. Trent McDuffie, by the way, you were mentioning KCSN, their 16th rated player overall. So getting him at 21 is not bad. That's a value. Obviously, Jermaine Johnson's still on the board. It's interesting to me that
Wow.
he's still out there, and so was George Karlaftis, another one of the edges. Which, we mentioned. Obviously, Craig Stout was on a couple of weeks ago. Didn't like him as much. Not a whole lot of bend from George Karlaftis, but
Yeah.
I've kind of warmed on him. I know PFF, whatever you like or don't like about PFF, they're very high on him. His athletic testing really is pretty good. He just is. He's thick. He's not bendy. But at this range right here, and of course, wide receivers wise, I mean, for me at this point, it's George Pickens at 29 or bust. There's nobody left, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
I agree.
nobody
I
left
agree.
worth taking in the first round. In my
No, and not at least anyone that we would have a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll pick
just
someone
don't
that
take
could be a
wide
good
receiver.
player, but Pickens is the guy that would have some headline ability.
Before
Nick
we went
Jacobs,
live, go ahead.
yeah.
No, you
I
go.
was just going to say Nick Jacobs, KSHB's producer, sports producer there, had a quick write up on McDuffie before the draft. He said McDuffie's a very smart and savvy coverage corner. He reads the keys of a receiver really well and makes the proper adjustments based off of it. McDuffie is like a predictive text. I like that a lot. You can tell he puts the work in and understands situational football. He is a physical corner in run support and as a blitzer. He doesn't panic on routes and trusts his technique. So he was very high. He had him as cornerback 3, was very high on him.
I'm smiling. We're doing a live show, and I'm not actually looking at myself, so I don't know what I'm presenting here because I'm looking at Twitter. But I just just saw a good tweet that I just retweeted. It's Kenny Pickett showing up to training camp, and it is Jack the lawyer with the big
The
hands
hands.
on. Yeah,
I
the
saw
hands
another
on.
one that was a
You
baby
think he had
hand.
small hands? Do you remember
No.
that? What you remember is false.
Nobody look.
Kenny Pickett, of course, famously has like 8.5-inch hands. Have you
Yes.
measured your hands? Have you? My hands are pretty small, but 8.5 inches is those are small hands.
Pretty small.
Pretty small hands.
So Kaiir Elam goes to the Bills, which means next on the clock at 24 is the Cowboys. And we don't really care what the Cowboys do. We famously do not, especially me, do not like the Cowboys. I mean, I don't care what they do as far as a threat.
Listen, Thursday night is about the boys. It's for the boys. We have to talk about a little bit. We have to talk about the Chargers a little bit because the Chargers got a guard and a very good guard, like guard 1 or guard 2 in this class, depending on kind of which rankings you look at. But they got a guard, and I was thinking about this today. I was interacting with some of you on Twitter, and the two nightmare scenarios for me were Jameson Williams, and we'd have to deal with like baby Tyreek and dime store Mahomes and Justin Herbert throwing to dollar store Tyreek or whatever, dollar store, dime store. I called Cortland Sutton dime store DK the other day. I'm not going to be quite as offensive towards the Chargers. Let's say dollar store Mahomes, dollar store Tyreek Hill. That would have very irritated me. But fortunately, the Lions swooped in, got Jameson Williams. Now we don't have to worry about him.
No, he's in purgatory.
It annoys me that he's not a Chief. I would have loved for him to be a Chief. But I'm glad that he's not in the AFC, and I'm very glad that he's not in the AFC West. The other guy was Jordan Davis, and I was very worried that Jordan Davis, who I mentioned before we went on the air, his relative athletic score, his ranking among 1,459 defensive tackles tested in relative athletic score since 1989, 1 out of 1,459, one of all of them, 100th percentile, a Creed Humphrey level athlete. And
that's amazing.
He went to the Eagles. So he will not be in the AFC or the AFC West. He does not go to the Chargers. And of course, the other two AFC West teams don't have a first round pick.
No, they don't. No, and while the Broncos don't have one because they're watching Russell Wilson highlights or whatever, and the Raiders don't have one because they're watching Devontae Adams highlights. Like, that's not the same. They definitely would have loved to have picked a young. Well, then again, the Raiders, I'm sure, are thrilled that they can't screw up a first-round pick tonight, especially hosting the draft. I mean, that would have been worst-case scenarios to give them a first-round pick tonight. So I'm sure.
We just sort of teased this. We're tweeting about this like yesterday, but somebody put out a chart for the relative draft position from like the consensus grade, like the consensus mocks. And over the last 4 years, the Raiders made 7 first-round picks, and they overdrafted them on average by 14 spots. So, like, literally all of them were reaches compared to where they were expected to go.
Average
the only guy that, like, I think the lowest, the least of a reach was it 9? Do you have it in front of you?
9. Yeah, I was just looking at it this morning.
And it was the running back, right? Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
And I think some of that too is predictive, right? Like, some of these mocks are obviously like predictive mocks, like, so the Raiders were kind of telegraphed that pick, right? Like, they were kind of like, everybody knew that Josh Jacobs was a guy that the Raiders liked. And so like I feel like people were putting him higher in their mocks to the Raiders because the Raiders pretty much said that they were going to take him. So it's not
Yep.
even like, and they still overdrafted him by 9 spots. They took Damon Arnett. Damon Arnett was the biggest reach, 42 spots.
42.
And he's not even in the league. He's in jail. In
He's
fact,
one of their
two of those 7 picks are in jail currently because Henry Ruggs, of course, killed somebody in Las Vegas
Ruggs
and is
was
also
like a
in jail.
15 spot reach. I mean, they took him as the first cornerback or first
The
wide receiver
first wide receiver off the board
before
in a
Jerry
draft
Jeudy,
with CeeDee Lamb. Justin Jefferson was in that draft. I mean, just it's bananas.
So I haven't
who's
seen.
going. Yeah, I mean, who are the Cowboys taking?
I haven't seen an update on the Cowboys yet.
They're probably really milking it. Jerry Jones is probably on his fucking yacht somewhere, and I just
so I don't believe with the Bills taking Elam there. I don't believe that McDuffie would have been available.
I think they probably would have taken McDuffie.
Figured out the board and that some guys in front of them were eyeing cornerbacks and they took the best one available. And they gave up 2 late picks. I mean, they did. I guess what round would 95 be? Would that be a 4th rounder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be.
I think so.
Or maybe a 3rd round comp pick. Could be a 3rd round comp pick.
Yeah, because 32 then
probably
64 be the end of the second.
Probably is a 3rd round comp pick.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, that's fine. That's good value. McDuffie's obviously going to have a chance to come in right away, and
I mean he's a starter.
Yeah, he's going to have all the opportunities to jump in the NFL head first. Should be fun. They knew what they saw in L'Jarius Sneed. Like they can scout the rookie corners. It's not that they had an issue with talent evaluation. They just never really used it on them. But then again, we've had how many Brett Veach drafts now? If you count 2017, you don't really. So 18, 19, 20, 21. We've had 4 previous drafts. You can't take first rounders in every premium position in 4 drafts.
No.
I mean,
he's only taken 1 first rounder.
Exactly. So people that think that
the running back was bad,
and the running back was bad.
That's the real kick in the dick there with that pick. I'm really curious to see obviously who the Cowboys take. I think the Ravens are going to take Jermaine Johnson if the Cowboys don't take him, which is going to be very annoying. Like imagine trading Hollywood Brown and getting Jermaine Johnson. That's just like the kind of trade that only the Ravens could get away with. They're just I don't know how it is. It's this way in fantasy football too. Like we play in a dynasty league, and one of our buddies a couple of years ago traded the first overall, what ended up being the first overall pick. He didn't know it at the time.
He's in the chat, buddy.
He's in the chat. Good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Max. So he traded his first round pick for who was it? He's like not even in the league anymore.
Justice Hill.
And then he turned around and traded the 1.1 for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I can't. I have to bring it up because we're talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't mean to shame him publicly, but I just that's like the Ravens, right? Like the Ravens are the team that's just constantly you find people. Oh my God, the pick for the okay, so the pick is in.
Tyler Smith.
Yeah. Offensive tackle.
Max says my forever shame. Trashman says Ravens have drafted really well recently and still can't get over the hump.
That's true. And that's because they don't have a quarterback, right? I mean, listen, we all
they got a dynamic athlete at quarterback.
They got a dynamic
athlete. Do they have a franchise first, top dog guy? It remains to be seen.
So the Ravens are on the clock here. I would be stunned if the Ravens didn't take Jermaine Johnson.
Well, I would have been stunned with all these guys not taking.
At that point, you have to be like, what's wrong with Jermaine Johnson? Like,
Am I not fun to drink with?
Yeah. Did he secretly do weed from a bong helmet, like a gas mask? That's the only thing that would make sense, but it hasn't
gas mask
broken yet. I
don't
know.
Tyler Smith, a tackle. Were you at all?
No.
Eyeing tackle?
No, and I'm glad that you asked that because I wanted to sort of turn the conversation actually away from tackle, but you reminded me of where I wanted to steer the conversation.
Okay.
I appreciate your input, but I've already made up my mind. So of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what the Chiefs do with this pick. And obviously, developing situation. We don't know. But what I really like about this pick, knowing that the Chiefs' first pick was a cornerback and knowing that the only wide receiver left, I mean, if it's Pickens, great. I like Pickens. There's none of these other guys that I would really take. Puerto Rican did sort of bring me around today to the idea of taking Christian Watson from North Dakota State,
Yeah.
a guy that tested really well, a guy who is a little bit wigglier and a little bit bendier than maybe I thought. I don't like him because he's old and he's still kind of raw, playing against bad competition. I mean, on a team that didn't really throw the ball, and then he's playing against, D2,
Not-
D3. Yeah,
not
whatever,
the SEC.
whatever. Yeah, right.
Basically,
not the
if
SEC.
you're not playing SEC
Yeah,
football.
I mean, like, I think that, especially with the way wide receivers are getting paid now, I don't want a developmental wide receiver. I don't want a guy that's going to take 2 years to learn routes, because we're going to have to pay him after year 3 regardless, right? Like, that's just how receivers get paid now. And so I might as well get 3 years of production out of him, right? And Pickens is ready now. If it's Pickens, great. But I really do think that, I mean, the Chiefs have an opportunity here, I think, to double down on defense. If they have another edge rusher available, and right now the board certainly has a couple of edge rushers that I'd be very happy with on the board.
You still like Karlaftis?
I still like Karlaftis. I obviously would be thrilled with Jermaine Johnson. There's some other guys as well. Ebiketie is a little bit undersized for what the Chiefs like, but he's got a lot of burst. Obviously, Boye Mafe is a guy that some people have enjoyed. I don't know. He can't really defend the run. He's a little bit older as well, but he is a dynamic guy.
Ojabo.
Yep. Ojabo. I don't know. Ojabo, it sounds like, is not going to be a first-round pick just because of the medicals. I mean, it's been so soon since the injury. You just can't really predict at this point how that's gonna play out. What I really like, though, is the safeties. There's only been one safety off the board, and that leaves a bunch of guys that Lewis Cine, Daxton Hill, guys that, like, you plug those guys in, one of those guys in with Trent McDuffie and with a L'Jarius Sneed and Rashad Fenton, and you suddenly have like a pretty good secondary, which is bananas because our secondary was absolute balls about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
20 minutes from now, it might be pretty good.
Might be pretty good
if we go back and do that
magic
again.
Of the draft.
If we do that, I think we got to trade up probably somewhere in the top of the second and take a wide receiver. Like we really do.
Sure. I mean, it's pretty shocking to me if the Chiefs are going to get out of the first without a wide receiver. Going into it, that just felt like the guaranteed pick. And in fact, I think last week we even said, of the three need groups where we had wide receiver, edge, and DB, like I thought wide receiver was 100% lock, that if the Chiefs were going to make 2 picks in the first, one of them was, now we've already seen cornerback, which is DB. So they can only either get an edge or a wide receiver. It's going to come down to who slips, who they like.
Did you see that the team official Twitter account put out a poll that said, who are we going to take? And literally the 3 poll options were edge, wide receiver, and cornerback. It was like, at this point, like nobody's even playing hide the ball. It's just like everybody knows that we're taking one of those 3 positions with both of our first round picks.
Yep.
That's where we're going. It is what it is.
Trading up for a corner. Can't believe it.
Yeah. Charles Robinson tweets from an exec, Jermaine Johnson isn't sliding. The media had him overvalued. Good player, not elite. Needs the right personality fit too. Interesting.
All the people filling their diaper, this is Charles again, over this opinion. It appears at least several other NFL teams concur, because he sent that 6 minutes ago, and I guess he was getting blown up.
No,
but I guess you guys should be running franchises rather than people actually doing it. Weird that you're not.
Charles, I obviously miss Therese every day. I really, Therese had a way of balancing out Charles in a way that, sadly no longer exists. I like Charles. He gets after people. Do you want to know where Trent McDuffie ranked out of 2001 cornerbacks from 1987 to 2022 in athletic testing?
Well, if he was 94th percentile.
Yeah. You can just do the math in your head, probably.
But I mean, go ahead. Where did he rank?
Well, I mean, why don't you guess? Math.
Okay. So you said 2,400.
I'm going to make you do 2001 cornerbacks.
Oh.
And he was 94th, almost 95th percentile.
Okay. So
I'm going to make you do math live on air. Just see what you can do here.
Yeah. 400. I'm going to go with.
This is good content.
Yeah, this is good content. I'm going to go with. He ranked 102nd.
Oh, very close. 106th. So pretty good math.
That's how
106th out of 2000 is
knew the percentile.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Very good.
Yeah, I like that.
He is gonna be a fun ad. I'm already pretty pumped on it.
The Ravens pick is Tyler Linderbaum. They took a center.
Yes,
Oh my God.
a center. I was hoping more guards and centers and
Yeah.
quarterbacks
Oh,
and guys
yeah.
that we didn't need.
Get every fucking interior offensive lineman off the board.
Right.
We
but they
literally
didn't.
could not.
It was all of our positions and needs that got drafted.
We could not need that less. And there have already been 3 of them off the board. That's part of the reason why this board is so tasty right now. 3 interior offensive linemen in the first 25 picks. And that is literally like, unless you did you read? I'm sure you did, but I'm sure you saw PFT. I'm sure you saw Florio's mock draft.
Yeah, I did.
He
said we need to protect Mahomes. We need to develop competent blockers.
He's never heard of Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. He's never heard of them.
How could he?
He doesn't even follow the league. Quick question for you while we're waiting for the next pick to come in. Who do you think hates their job more? Is it Mike Florio or Adam Teicher? I'm just going to take a sip of water. What do you think about this?
I think Florio is an angrier person in general.
I agree. Well, that's
so what I mean is
that's
the
a
hate
great
for
call.
his job is more tied to his personality. I think Schefter loves his job.
No, not Schefter. Teicher.
Oh, you said Teicher. I thought you said Adam Schefter.
No.
Teicher. Teicher hates his job. Teicher
yes, I know.
Oh my God, that's a great.
He is a much less angry person than Florio. You weren't wrong about that.
But he absolutely. Hates his job. I think he hates his job more than Florio does. I think Florio likes.
It's really close. It's really close.
I think Florio goes to bed angry every night, and Teicher doesn't.
Do you know how to put a poll in the chat?
I can't put a poll in a YouTube chat. But
this is our first time doing the live show. You know, we gotta.
While we wait on the Titans pick, can we talk about how hyped we are for the first Thursday night game on Amazon to be at Arrowhead, Trash Man? Yes, we are very hyped. I was just telling Austin earlier that obviously we had the first Thursday night game ever.
Yeah.
With the Chiefs and the Broncos back when they debuted Thursday Night Football. That was obviously a blast. And, you know, everyone knows the Chiefs are still must-see TV. I mean, that's not a surprise. We had 6 primetime games, I think it was last year, when you're supposed to only have 5 because they just couldn't help but shoehorning the Chiefs into another one. And we knew they were going to have 5 more. You could lock 5 in basically for Mahomes' career, right? Like they're going to put the Chiefs in front of everybody as long as they can. And I just feel like an AFC West showdown. Everyone's been talking about every AFC West game is going to be primetime quality. And I kind of disagree because I don't think the Raiders are going to be as good as the other. And maybe not even the
Broncos are going to be good.
Broncos, right.
Yeah, fuck the Broncos.
But this is Chiefs Chargers, and that one is going to be lit. So
the Jets are on the clock. Look at that. Interesting.
So the Jets
coming back up. They traded with the Titans. Interesting for their third.
Is this their third first?
Yeah.
When was the last time a team had 3 firsts?
They're probably going to take Jermaine Johnson, bro, and they're going to get like 3 top 10 players. It's the Jets, though. Like, I mean,
yeah, it doesn't matter how many they could take. They could take this whole first round.
It does not matter. And in fact, we want the Jets to be good. We want them to be decent because we want the Bills to have competition
twice a year.
Yeah,
and be able to beat the Dolphins twice a year, maybe.
We want to at least have them be competitive. You know, like we want that division to be competitive.
We do.
Yeah. Who are the Jets going to take here?
So they traded back in.
Lamar Jackson just tweeted WTF.
Yeah, that's great. He's probably like, I'm not signing with these guys.
That's hilarious because they just took Tyler Linderbaum. They took a center, and Lamar's like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, he didn't want a center. He wanted someone to throw the ball to.
Sure, which is hilarious because Lamar,
I'm sure Tyler Linderbaum will love to block for a guy that said WTF when he was drafted.
This is going great. For the Ravens. I mean, just a master class in how to handle PR and relationships with your quarterback. The Jets trade.
Yeah, do we have the
comp? Jets gave up 35, 69, nice, and 163 for 26 and 101. That seems like a pretty good deal for the Titans.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, especially
like
pretty good value for the Titans, especially after
the Titans just took a wide receiver.
Titans
and so, do you think the Jets here, after taking, maybe the Jets want Pickens?
Jermaine Johnson. I think the Jets want Jermaine Johnson. I mean, I would be shocked if they, but I mean, Charles is telling us not to mess in our diapers because, The
Yes,
media
sir.
overhyped him. The liberal media.
The
overhyped
fake
him.
news liberal
The
media.
fake news liberal media. There it is. Jermaine Johnson to the Jets.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
That's fine.
They thought they would get them at 4 or 10. I mean, he was mocked to them at 4 or 10. They get him at 26. Ugh,
Our guy
Jets.
Justin Orell. Kaka! Florio would definitely be the worst person to be around. Teicher sucks, but he doesn't seem like a miserable person. Exactly what I was trying to say. Teicher is definitely a happier individual, even though he sucks at his job and probably hates covering the Chiefs because he hates his job. But Florio hates everything and everyone.
Okay. I've got another question for you while we wait for the
Trash
next
man.
pick.
Florio is such a pissed off, self-righteous POS, must have a microphallus. Okay, now you go.
Yeah, correct. He definitely does. And the Bucks are on the clock now, and I don't want to talk about the Bucks. So we're gonna have to shoot the ship.
Milwaukee?
Yeah, right. Exactly. The Milwaukee Bucks to go with Giannis. We're looking for a.
So what's your question for?
Okay, so I already asked you who hates their job more. You can interact with the chat. I don't have YouTube up because this is the first time we've ever done a live show, and I'm pretty sure if I have it up, there will be a very obnoxious, weird echo.
Greed Spectre. Teicher is a grade A.
Okay,
grouch.
So who hates the Chiefs more, Teicher or Florio?
I think Teicher.
You think? I mean, Mike Florio fucking hates the Chiefs. He literally he literally mocked an interior offensive lineman of the Chiefs just to troll Chiefs fans.
Don't you think that every
and because he doesn't give a shit and he doesn't know what's going on?
Don't you think every fan base thinks Florio hates them?
Yeah, but he actually hates us because of the Tyreek Hill thing. Like, I think
But hasn't he had Tyreek Hill interactions with other fan bases about other people that we don't focus on because we're Chiefs fans?
He literally said he was going to quit the league.
I know,
if Tyreek Hill was allowed to keep playing. Well, maybe.
I mean, he's such an idiot that I feel that Florio probably doesn't think about the Chiefs any more than any other team. But we all think that he's like our enemy. Like it's
he is our enemy.
I know, but I do think that Teicher thinks about the Chiefs a lot.
Well,
based on his predictions,
he doesn't think about the Chiefs nearly as much as he should.
No,
considering
at least not intelligently.
Yeah.
Justin, Florida hates the Chiefs. Teicher doesn't hate the Chiefs. He just really sucks at his job. Florio actively hates us. I'll give it. I think that's.
I don't know. I think it's a really fascinating question. I think it's a really interesting question. Do you know where Trent McDuffie's relative athletic score weighs in against Charvarius Ward? Trent McDuffie, 9.48, 94th percentile. Now, bear in mind, of course, Charvarius Ward was an undrafted free agent. Jaguars are back in the first round.
Yeah, sure.
They've traded up
27 to Jags for 33, 106, and 180.
Oh, God damn it. That's a good trade for the Bucks. That seems like really good value for the Bucks.
6 picks from the late first to the early second.
Yeah,
they gain 106 and 180, which I don't know. Are you really going to make much noise with 106 and 180?
You might in this draft. This is a pretty deep draft. And I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of guys left on the board that, I mean, I think we're getting into sort of a plateau here. Like, I think the second round, there's going to be a ton of players in the second round that are all pretty similar value. I still think that the safeties are really the best value here. Maybe the Jags will take a safety. Like according to ESPN, best guy left on the board is Daxton Hill. He'd be a guy that I'd be thrilled with if the Chiefs were to get him at 30. Even though
corner and safety,
I don't know, man.
They need edge and wide receiver.
I want edge and wide receiver, but
so now that Johnson,
there are some guys in the second round though.
Now that Johnson went to the Jets, who's the best edge available? Karlaftis.
Yeah, and Karlaftis could be going here. Karlaftis could be going here. We'll see.
Probably Karlaftis or Mafe, I guess.
Could be. The Jags certainly need edge help. I mean, they got Trayvon Walker, which, by the way, we haven't even talked about that, but that's a preposterous pick. I mean, I get that he tested like an absolute monster. He is an absolute monster, but like Mitchell Schwartz was tweeting out about his highlights that they showed. It's him like pulling a guard. There's like no actual highlights of him, doing an actual pass rush because he can't rush the passer. He doesn't know how.
Not yet.
So like,
I think they could teach him.
Yeah,
they got all the time in the world there in Jacksonville.
The Jags are going to teach somebody. The Jags are going to develop a player.
Trashman said the other Florida team is on the clock. No, the other one. God.
That is the Jags. Yeah, Duval, baby. Duval County. I just don't know. I just don't know. I mean,
I
good
think
for
we're going to go Pickens.
You think?
I just feel like Veach.
I mean, I'd be very into that. And I think that like, so we have 9 picks next year, right? So the Chiefs can use those picks to move up as well. I think tomorrow is going to be amazing. We're not going to do a live show tomorrow. We will do a reaction show probably on Saturday.
Yes.
Probably on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to let Friday
But
happen.
tomorrow's going to be bananas. Like, we still have a first round pick. We still have 2 second round picks, and we can move up. Like, we're going to get, I mean, like, I love how the board is going right now. I was pretty angry about it through about pick 15. And then shit started to go our way. And people started taking guards and centers and wide receivers that I don't like Treylon Burks. I know some of you guys in the chat probably are Treylon Burks stands. Didn't test well. He's too big. He doesn't know how to run routes. Let's see what the Jags did.
Some of these replies. My brother in Christ, you were saying Jermaine Johnson at 4, not 26. And like the Jets considered Jermaine Johnson at 10.
Yeah.
And they got him at 26. I mean, I think they've
got I mean, the Jets are having a great draft. Good for them.
They are. Maybe they can win 8 games next year.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not. I mean, it all comes down to whether Zach Wilson's good or not, right? If he's not, then it's all for nothing.
I think we know the answer to that, don't we? Maybe we don't. He's had 1 year.
I mean, he's only had 1 year. He was really bad last year, though.
He was. Like, there are certain signs that you look for with young quarterbacks, even if they have crappy players around them. And he didn't show any of those signs.
I mean, Mike White was had the best quarterback performance of any Jets quarterback last year. Yeah. And that was with the same guys that, Wilson was throwing to. They select Utah linebacker Devin Lloyd. Interesting.
Yeah, I was just looking at the draft board.
Yeah, not even. I mean, Nakobe Dean's probably still the highest rated linebacker on the board. Devin Lloyd's a good player. He's a good player.
Devin Lloyd was the first on PFF's linebackers, second on KCSN's, and they did have Nakobe Dean at first, and then the other 2 that we're looking at, SI and Athletic, both had.
You know what, though? That's great because obviously the Chiefs do not need a linebacker. I mean,
no, we wanted all the.
They wouldn't mind having a linebacker, but obviously
not here.
They weren't going to take a linebacker in the first round.
We really wanted the first round to have more quarterbacks in it, right. And
still could. We might trade back. Maybe somebody will want to come up and get a quarterback. I don't know. Malik Willis,
I guess
I'm a little bit surprised by that, to be honest with you.
I guess Malik Willis, right?
Yeah.
Like you would think if someone's looking at
somebody will want to get a 5th-year option on Malik Willis because he's a project, and they'll want to have the 5th-year option.
For 5
years.
They'll
want to have the 5th-year option.
I agree. Maybe we want it.
And 2 QBs, baby.
Yeah.
Well,
you had a dream that we traded up to 1-1 last night.
Yeah, I did. It was wild. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Before you knew who we picked.
I was sweating bullets. And I literally the last thing I remembered was the whole pick is in thing, the Harry Potter music. Wait, no, I can't do it.
The Harry Potter music?
Did you not see me tweet about this the other day? The pick is in jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Harry Potter theme. Dun 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 dun. That's Harry Potter, right? And then what is the draft pick jingle?
Dun, 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 dun.
It's the same notes, just in a slightly different order. It's a little bit like Ice Ice Baby and
Another One Bites the Dust.
Or not Another One Bites the Dust. No, Under Pressure.
Yeah. Oh, Under Pressure. Under Pressure.
Yeah. Doing this live is hard. We were about to get roasted in the chat. I'm glad I didn't say the wrong thing. I was about to say Bohemian Rhapsody. You went with Another One Bites the Dust. No, Under Pressure. That's an easier one, though, because there's an extra note in there. They are the same notes, but they throw an extra note in there.
Have you heard the Vanilla Ice explanation of this, the video? It's like classic.
Yeah.
Yes. Ask him
yes, it's ridiculous.
What do you have to say about that? And he goes,
well, he says one of them is dun 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 dun, and the other one is dun 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 dun. That's how he explains it.
That's what he does. Yeah.
Which is true.
Mine has dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I mean,
dun 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 dun. Yeah.
I have a harder time with the Harry Potter theme and Little Draft Jingle. I don't know. I mean, this is not a bad situation for the Chiefs. I like how this is shaping up.
Wish list if we stay put and pick at 30. Who is Pickens. Your Pickens is 1?
Yeah, Pickens is
Karlaftis 2?
Karlaftis is probably 2 for me. There's a few different guys I wouldn't mind having at edge rusher. And let me take a quick peek here at the board and see who's still available. So I like Karlaftis. I like Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State. Again,
Yeah.
he's a guy that like Karlaftis is closer to the build that Steve Spagnuolo would probably expect. I mean, those are kind of the two guys at edge that I think you reasonably could take here. I'm not as high on Boye Mafe, and I don't think you can take Ojabo there with the medicals. I mean, obviously we don't have access to his medical information, but we kind of talked about that already. I'd be happy with Karlaftis or Ebiketie. I'd be happy with one of the safeties, although it would make me nervous going to sleep tonight thinking about how I didn't take an edge or a wide receiver.
Me too.
So maybe I don't want to do that. I don't know. I mean,
you don't like Sky Moore because he's too small.
I don't like Sky Moore. I don't like Sky Moore. Like there's basically 3 buckets that wide receivers fall into in this draft. Okay. You've got the guys that are smaller and have elite traits. You've got the guys who are, I guess, 4 buckets. You've got the guys who are sort of mid-sized and have sort of middling traits, right? You've got the guys that are big with bananas traits. That's Pickens. That's Watson.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other guys. Like the thing about Sky Moore and even Jahan Dotson, who went
16th.
to the Commanders 16th, which is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about guys that don't have. If you're going to be small, and I understand they're not Tyreek Hill small, but if you're going to be a small wide receiver, especially on the Chiefs, right? Like the Chiefs have like 5 slot receivers, right? Like they need an X receiver.
Yeah.
If you're going to be an X receiver in the NFL and you're going to be 5'10" or below, you better have some bananas traits. And like Jameson Williams, like if the Chiefs had taken Jameson Williams, even though Jameson Williams does not actually have a lot of tape of him like beating press right at the college level, I'm pretty sure he could learn to beat press at least some of the time, right? Like he could probably learn to be okay at it, like Tyreek Hill was okay at it, right? Like Tyreek Hill had some years and some days when he was just roasting people in press. Not all the time. You want to be able to get him free releases, obviously, and the Chiefs lined him up in the slot plenty. But I don't know. I think the Chiefs need a guy that can for sure play outside. Christian Watson, I don't think I'd be super unhappy with him. I'd prefer Pickens from the wide receivers, Ebiketie and Karlaftis as the edges. What are you looking at?
Basically, the moment you started talking, the Packers picked Devontae Wyatt, Georgia defensive tackle.
And he was the guy that you were maybe looking at, or
no, it was just that break.
You just wanted to put it in there.
For
sure.
So
that was a fast pick.
It was.
Then that was the Packers.
The Packers. Packers made that pick fast, and that was a 28.
And that was the Packers.
Yeah,
who aren't taking a wide receiver.
Oh
my God, Aaron
Rodgers and us.
Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is just.
Oh yeah, I was thinking you meant because they could have taken Pickens, but
also that.
I mean, but yes, they took
God. I mean,
they took a defensive tackle and a linebacker, two defensive players.
Oh my God. They're trolling him so hard.
They are trolling him. That's great. So now it's just
the
Patriots and then the Chiefs. The Patriots at 29, who we traded back. And if they take Pickens here, I'm going to be pissed. But otherwise, I kind of feel like
Patriots are going to take Pickens. They're going to take one of these safeties. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet they'll take Daxton Hill or Louis Cine, even though those guys are like a little bit too mainstream. The Patriots are always like
they're always off.
They're pretty hipster. They're pretty hipster. They'll probably trade back again. To be honest with you,
they'll just keep trading back and trading.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. I think that so we have to get past the
Patriots,
the Bengals are picking after us. Yeah, so just the Patriots.
That's it. This is the one more pick, and then the Chiefs.
Who do you think?
For the Patriots or for us?
I mean, either. The Patriots are going to take. We have already established the Patriots are going to take a D2 safety. So
yeah, I feel Pickens here. I do. I think that. I think Veach has felt the need for the wide receiver all offseason, and it just feels right. They could go.
This is a great board for Chiefs going into the second round too, because we can definitely trade up. We can definitely trade up.
Absolutely, they have tons of ammo, and even though their next pick in the second round is an 18th until 18th, they also have the 30th in the second.
Right.
So I mean, they can certainly make some.
And we got rid of one of our third round picks for the move up, right? With the Patriots.
Correct. Now the Chiefs have just the 39th pick in the third round.
Man, Packers fans must be so pissed. Not just
right. It's so frustrating to see your team just continually make the same mistake over and over again. And that's the same mistake over and over again. This has got to be just PTSD for them.
It's what, 20 years, right? That they have not taken a skill player in the first round, something like that.
That's right.
It predates Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head who it was, but I think the last time they took a skill player in the first round was like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Bananas.
I think it was
it like Donald Driver? Something
Amon
like that.
Green or yeah, you're right. And in
I don't
fact,
know. One of those early 2000s Packers wide
I
receivers.
just want to pull up my stat head, figure it out.
Yes, let's do it.
Draft,
You know
draft
what that's
wide
going to be.
receiver.
You know what's going to be funny is that you know who the wide receiver one for the Packers is.
What are you asking me? I'm doing
The Packers wide receiver one right now.
right now is
Sammy Watkins.
Oh yeah, I mean I would have said Alan Lazard, but yes, Sammy Watkins for
Sammy
sure.
Watkins, baby. Sammy
Yeah,
Watkins for the
that's
touchdown.
awesome. Okay, so draft team Green Bay Packers. Draft.
My Sammy Watkins dynasty hold, which was if Max is still in the chat, I don't have it in front of me. We can shout him out because he absolutely trade raped both of us.
He did
in our dynasty league.
Really
I
hard.
traded a first round pick for Sammy Watkins.
Yes.
Because I had Tyreek Hill that year that he got hurt in 2019 or 2018. 2019
Yeah.
in the first week, and you know Sammy had that amazing game against the Jags, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll trade a first round pick. You traded Hardman, or I traded
for
Hardman.
Andy
You gave up
Isabella
Deontay Johnson
Deontay Johnson
for Hardman.
Brutal.
So he got a first round pick in Deontay Johnson, and I got Sammy Watkins, and you got McCole Hardman.
Here are the three
makes me very sad.
Packers first round skill position draft picks since 1990.
Oh.
In 1990, they picked Darrell Thompson, running back, 22nd overall.
Okay.
Then they waited 10 years. And in 2000, they picked legendary tight end Bubba Franks, 22nd.
Bubba Franks.
I love Bubba Franks. And then 2 years later, in 2002, the last time they made a position player a first round pick, 23rd overall.
What? The Patriots are taking Cole Strange.
What a strange pick.
With the 29th pick. I don't even know who Cole Strange is. I'm going to be honest with you.
He's a guard from Chattanooga. He is checking in at the 69th. Nice overall rank among the boards. He is the fifth guard on PFF's board. The
fourth
third
in
guard
KCSN. Okay. All right.
On Sports
you guys can tell I haven't done a lot of reading on guards this year. I mean
why would you?
Why
Chiefs are set. There's no reason to.
Right.
I mean,
Cole Strange,
and that gives the Chiefs a great board.
Oh my God, we're on the clock. Are we on the clock? We're on the
clock.
We're
on absolutely, unless we're trading it. But I mean, yeah, we're on the clock.
This is a great board.
I think you dropped from the stream.
Me?
Did I drop you? Did I do? Well, like I just don't see you.
Weird.
Anyone in the chat? Can you guys see Austin?
I just love that I dropped. Can you hear me? You can still.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an option to? Oh,
I'm back.
You're back. Like you never left.
I just clicked over to the thing. Clicked over to the thing, and it said start cam. It's like you.
Appreciate you, buddy.
It's like you turned me off. Did you?
I probably did. I probably switched back.
You trying to censor me, bro?
I'm trying to get you out of here. Look, it's the Taylor Witt show.
You son of a bitch.
I can't believe they took Cole Strange at 29. And
isn't Rodgers going to be on McAfee tonight?
Tuesdays, isn't it Tuesdays? Oh, is he like doing a special?
He's doing a draft night special, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah, that should be lively. I mean, I don't want to, but you know, I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be Karlaftis, and then I think maybe we trade up for Pickens tomorrow. That's my prediction.
I would rather have the fifth on Pickens than Karlaftis, I think.
Yeah, probably because wide receivers now are more expensive than edge rushers. Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think I don't know. I think there's a couple of guys. I mean, I think Pickens or Karlaftis here. Either one, I'd be very happy with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think either one of those would be a slam dunk. And I mean, the thing is, this has been a great first round for the Chiefs. Again, the first 14 picks was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. And then everybody that's taken anybody since then is taking guys that the Chiefs shouldn't have wanted and didn't want.
Really, the worst pick was Jameson Williams, as far as my heart. as
Oh,
far
I mean,
as someone
and
that
he slid just far enough
just
that
enough.
like
He was now in
12,
reach.
we could have gone up to 12 to get him. We could have
Yep.
gone up to 12 to get him.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see who it's going to be. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Who are you checking?
I'm checking Twitter. I'm just frantically
Me too.
refreshing
Do you
Twitter.
have a list going, or are you just saying the main your feed?
No, I mean, like, I just want Karlaftis or Pickens. I know.
No. I mean a Twitter list.
Oh, a Twitter list? No, I just follow NFL guys that know ball.
Well, yeah.
Like, I'm not
but
looking for a specific
I
guy.
filter mine to a draft list.
Oh,
So
interesting.
that I'm like I'm following specifically like Connor Hughes.
No, man. I'm like in the classic graphic novel Watchmen. Ozymandias has the wall of TVs. And that's what my Twitter feed is like. It's unfiltered. It's just a stream of pure data
right
all the
into
time.
your face.
And that's what I'm doing right now. I actually hate that I'm on since we're live.
Jonathan
Ferris
Ferris
on TV.
Jonathan Ferris asks, so Pickens, is that who you both want here? Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. I mean, I want Pickens on the team. I don't know that it necessarily has to be here. But I think if they don't take him here,
they get him after
tomorrow.
Amazing.
I think they have to trade up. I think they're gonna have to trade up and get him tomorrow if they don't take him here. I think Chiefs pick George Karlaftis. There you go. There it is.
Okay.
I mean,
that's cool.
I like
yeah,
it.
me too. They got an edge. They needed an edge.
I mean, I think wasn't he the PFF number 3 edge? I think he was.
I can certainly tell you, George Karlaftis was the PFF number 3 edge.
I mean,
they're right up on him.
Getting the number 3 edge at pick 30 seems pretty fucking good.
Karlaftis is a versatile Iron Man who can do almost anything a team could ask of him. He played at least 49 snaps in all but one game this past season and finished with a 90.6 pass rushing grade. KCSN edge 6, they were a little down on him. SI edge 4. Athletic edge 5.
Do you want to hear his relative athletic score, buddy?
Yes, of course. Okay. Always.
He is scored a 9.18 relative athletic score out of a possible 10.
That's great.
It's ranked 120th out of 1,455 defensive ends since 1987. Composite size grade is good. 6'3", 266 pounds. Those are both in the 60th percentile. Bench a little bit low, 48th percentile, 21 reps. Composite explosion grade. Now, listen, I get that he's not very bendy, but he's explosive. The vertical, 38 inches, that is 96th percentile. The broad jump, 10.01, that is 87th percentile. Composite speed grade, great, elite. 40-yard dash is 4.78, that is 73rd percentile. His 20-yard split, though, his get-off, 93rd percentile. His 10-yard split, 1.65, that's 78th percentile. His shuttle, 7.62, so 76th percentile. I mean, 4.36 on the shuttle. Did not do the 3-cone, which, I mean, I get it. Some of these guys don't want to do the 3-cone. Usually when a guy doesn't do a test,
he's like, I can only test poorly on this.
I choose not to run.
I choose not to run. Strengths for Karlaftis, according to KCSN. Powerful defensive end with some of the best hands in the class. He is well-versed in how to create separation and quick and calculated strikes. He also possesses strong hands that generate excellent power at the point of attack. He generates an enormous amount of power. His first punch simply rocks offensive tackles. As a run defender, he's a tireless worker that scrapes down the line with a violent mentality. I love hearing all of those adjectives. He is strong at the point of attack and can play a multitude of positions along the defensive front. He is also a cerebral player with an understanding of how to soften the edge before beating an offensive tackle. How he fits with the Chiefs, he is a high floor prospect that would fit well with the Chiefs. His size and strength would allow him to be a plus run defender from day one. As long as the Chiefs don't ask him to be a bendy or dominant pass rusher from day one, he would fit on their defensive line nicely.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can get him into some yoga classes and make him a little bendier. I get that people like. I understand that people don't like George Karlaftis. Like I kind of get it. But man, I think he's underrated. Like I think there is a section of Chiefs draft Twitter that's very vocal, and I mean we had Craig on the show a couple weeks ago, and he was not excited about this pick if it was the pick, and now it is the pick. I don't know, man. I like it. I get he's not bendy. I get that you want a bendy edge, but like in a draft where number one, this is a draft of older players. He just turned 21, so he's actually one of the younger edge rushers in this class. He's younger than Kayvon Thibodeau. He's younger than Trayvon Walker. He's younger than Aiden Hutchinson, and he's got some juice. Like, I get that he doesn't have Ben, but he's got some juice. And like it or not, uh, this is a guy that Steve Spagnuolo, he fits a type, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, we might be a little bit fed up with Steve Spagnuolo, and that's fine. But I mean, he was the 10th overall player on PFF's big board, and we got him at 30. I can't be upset about that.
I can't either. It's certainly I'm thinking more about the positions right now and the fact that the Chiefs took a cornerback and an edge rusher as their 2 first-round picks. Clearly, they understand that, and to me, that also shows that they think that the offense is probably going to be pretty fine. That they didn't need somebody there that they couldn't live without. They think that between MVS and Juju and Hardman, that they've got a wide receiver core that can compete in the NFL. And I agree with him there.
And I mean, you have Travis Kelce.
And you have Kelce, who basically is a gigantic wide receiver. Just to catch up on the chat, Justin said, I guess I'm okay with Karlaftis. Wasn't high on him. I'd be good if we get Pickens tomorrow. Absolutely. I mean, I think that if the Chiefs can add Pickens at some point,
Pickens or Christian Watson.
Or Christian Watson.
One of those bigger
one of our
guys,
wide receivers we're high on.
Bigger guys with juice. I mean, like, that's what you need. That's your type. I mean, like, you already saw the Chiefs trade up once, and then they were patient and let the board come to them with Karlaftis. I'm sure they're thrilled to death with that. I think they're going to go up again tomorrow. And they probably are going to have to, because historically, the top of the second round, there's going to be wide receivers going at the top of the second round. There's probably going to be another round. Now, there's also guys, I mean, like a guy like John Mechie tomorrow would be a good fit too. Not the same physical specimen that you have in Pickens or even Christian Watson, but a guy that is just a good player across the board, and a guy that played X, in Bill O'Brien's offense. Just chuckle every time that I say that, at Alabama. I mean, like, Mechie would be a great pick tomorrow as well. And I think that, given the run on wide receivers early, this is how the board fell. Cornerback and edge, and go get wide receiver tomorrow. These guys that are left on the board at wide receiver, I'd be more than comfortable taking in the second round here.
I agree with that. It's not too bad of a situation at all. It's a little different than the situation I expected, but it's certainly not one to panic over. Everybody, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of guys.
I have a random Chargers fan trolling me on Twitter. And
about what?
He said
about Karlaftis?
No, about McDuffie. He said you took a 5'9" DB, and I said you took a fucking guard, you idiot.
Come on, man.
Eat shit, bro.
God.
I'm gonna get banned from Twitter.
You're not.
No, I'm not. But it did give me the warning just now.
Of whether we don't normally tweet tweets like this or whatever it says. Like,
yeah. Are you sure you want to tweet this? Yeah. I said he's CB3. You fucking idiot. Enjoy third place again. Salty on the stream tonight. It's fine. You had 1 first round pick. You were the only other AFC West team with a first round pick, and you took a guard.
Idiots.
Yeah.
So this has been quite the draft.
Yeah. It is. Bengals are taking Dax Hill at 31. Good pick for them.
Good get for them.
Good get for them.
Jeremy Morgan said, "Does this mean we're getting Debo?" Nah, man. I mean, the Chiefs would have to have traded a first rounder for Debo.
They have a first rounder for next year.
But I think the Niners wanted to get into this first round if they're going to give up.
Yeah, they're not going to trade Debo.
No, I think he's a Niner this year. But I do think it means that they feel better about the wide receivers maybe than the average Chiefs fan does.
I agree with that. I mean, I think that, like, as much as, it was funny. I was going back and looking at my old tweets yesterday, which, it's from this date last year and the year before that and so on and so forth, which is draft time every year. And I said last year when the Chiefs went into the draft, I was like, oh my God, they have to take a wide receiver in the second round. And they were like, nah, no, we don't. We're not going to. And I think that, like, I agree that their conception of what the room overall looks like is probably different from what it looks like for us as fans. But they almost have to take. I mean, they do have to take one tomorrow in the.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, they've got the capital to do it. They've got a board that is, pretty generous as far as what wide receivers are going to be available. I mean, I think everything lines up for them. Even if they wait till 18, someone's going to
Yeah.
be there that we're going to like. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
I
fine.
think there will be a run on wide receivers tomorrow. But I mean, I would like Pickens or Watson. I'd be happy with both of those guys in the second round. I'd be happy with Mechie. Especially if we didn't have to go up to get Mechie. I don't think you have to go up to get Mechie. I think you could stay at 50 or even 62 and maybe get him.
Yeah.
Because of the injury. I don't remember they did bring him in for a 30 for 30 visit.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that they've checked out, that they've vetted medically.
What if I told you that they liked him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did.
That's a 30
Mark
joke.
Melton, Mark Mel 069 09928, loving husband / father. He's blowing me up. He hasn't tweeted
He's the Charger
since,
guy?
he hasn't tweeted since January 9th. He has 29 followers. How do these people even find me? I just like,
Twitter's a bizarre place, man.
it is a bizarre place. I wonder if that bot is going to tweet at me again. I've been kind of
The girl?
blowing up her spot. Yeah.
Man,
let's
that
see what
bot
she
is
has.
one of the craziest spots I've ever heard of.
I mean, I don't even think, I think as you said, AI
It's an
is
AI.
a better way to describe it than bot.
Yep.
Because bot
Yep.
would sort of be, yeah.
Bot's kind of a programmed, you see this, you say this.
Right.
AI is like, just figure it out, man. Just go online and talk to people. And
yeah.
Justin says, my takeaway is that we'll be fine. We drafted for need, got good guys who should have gone higher, and we can still improve tomorrow. Might not have been an electric day one, but it was solid.
I mean, it's good. And you could have taken some swings. Like the Chiefs could have taken a home run swing and traded up to like 12 and tried to take Jameson Williams. These guys are probably both at least solid doubles, right? Like
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're number 10 and number 11 overall on the PFF big board, right? Like, you're talking about two top 11 players at positions of need. I don't know. I love this draft. I mean, like, there's a side of me, of course, that I wish we took a wide receiver because
they're fun.
Because offense is fun and wide
fun.
receivers are fun, and defensive backs and edges are not fun. They're not cool, like
But it's also fun.
Making the defense better makes our offense less fun because we don't have to score as many points. I mean, it just
yes.
Defense. But it's also more helpful for us.
Much needed.
It's more conducive to us winning games.
We have our big board. We have an average ranking of all these players. So if we have our 4. PFF, KCSN, Sports Illustrated, and The Athletic, and of them, they had George Karlaftis at an average rank of 14.8 and Trent McDuffie at an average rank of 15.5. So on the board, they were actually, they were very high up, both of them. And that's a pretty good. They were the 12th and 11th highest average ranked players on our boards.
Yeah. I mean,
and the Chiefs got them at 23 and 30. And like you said, positions of need. Guys that we can certainly get excited about their athleticism. There's certainly guys that.
I mean, listen, Karlaftis is not bendy, but he is very athletic. I mean, he tested extremely well, and he's not going to be Von Miller, right? Like the quintessential, bendy edge that's going to just duck under people and go around people. But like he's very athletic and he's very good. I mean, he's going to be good.
And McDuffie, we needed a cornerback. We needed a cornerback more than a wide receiver. Wide receivers are more fun, but our cornerback room was dire. I mean, it was Fenton and Snead.
Yeah.
And so please get them some help. They will need it. Now we're going to look to see how the Chiefs fill out the rest of their board. They still have plenty of picks left in this draft. Let's see. So they traded away 2 lates and they used 2. So they still have 8 picks left, I think is how, if that math works. Used 2, traded away 2. So, I mean, still got some bodies to add to this thing for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, 4 of those are 7th round picks. So like, I mean,
well, right. 4 impact players and 4 lottery picks.
But 4 impact players. And again, they have 9 picks next year. And I know at least the last 2 drafts, Veach has used a next year pick to trade up.
Yeah.
In that draft. I'd have to go back and look at how many years in a row they've done that. But yeah.
Right. I mean, for sure, Bo Peep Keys was next year's pick for this year's 7th or whatever that was. Lamar tweets, "It's not about my new center. Stop that BS."
What is it about him trading away Hollywood Brown? Is that what he's so butthurt
When
about?
he said WTF like 3 minutes after they announced they picked a
Yeah.
center.
Okay.
We're not buying it, Lamar. You wanted
Okay,
something,
Lamar.
and then you realize someone told you, like, hey, that was probably a dumb tweet, buddy. Man.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
glad.
let's see. We've got one pick left.
We have, because Daxton Hill went 31, so we're waiting on the Vikings at 32.
The Vikings. Are they going to trade out of this? Is somebody going to trade up from Malik Willis?
Yeah, you would think so. Or maybe
would be
what's
shocked.
Kirk Cousins' deal?
If one quarterback went in the first round and it was Kenny Pickett.
Derek Larsh, what's up, buddy? Kaka! How are you guys feeling? I'm loving these picks. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really positive development for the Chiefs. I don't know if it was necessarily sexy, but I think we will look back on this first round positively. It's gonna feel a lot like the last, like 2021, when players are contributors.
We're talking about guys like Ojabo and Boye Mafe. Those guys are still out there.
Yeah,
we take those guys in the second round. You guys want to double up on edge?
Yeah.
You want to do that? You want to get a wide receiver? You want to take?
Let's get.
You want to take one of these safeties, another cornerback. I mean, like they have 3 picks right now tomorrow, in rounds 2 and round 3, and they certainly could get another pick moving up from one of their 4th rounders. Using some of their ammo from next year. They could trade a second round pick next year. And get into the 3rd round probably.
First round's done.
Yeah.
Vikings picked Lewis Cine.
Huh. Okay. 2 safeties back to back to close out the round. Well, that's it.
In the green room, Malik Willis and Matt Corral did not get picked, and they are in Vegas in the green room. That's always rough when you show up.
Yeah, but Matt Corral, come on, he's not gonna get picked. Come on, he's gonna have to wait a while. I don't know why
this Knight's Batman reference.
Yeah. It's not about my news center. Stop that BS. That just got read.
Lamar, you poor guy.
Come on, poor guy. He's been, you think he's gonna sign an extension? We were talking about this before we went on the air, but I mean, he hasn't.
The relationship between Lamar and the Vikings is not a great one, at least from the outside. The negotiation bit with him not having an agent and having to work out all the ridiculous legalese of an NFL contract, which would take me 40 hours a week for 6 months to figure out my own contract in that. I mean, like, I don't know how he feels that that's possible, but he'll deal with that. He doesn't have Hollywood anymore. The Chiefs have picked a cornerback and an edge rusher. Cornerback Trent McDuffie out of Washington, George Karlaftis out of Purdue. Both juniors. Both did not go to school for their senior year, so a little bit younger. And it's an older class of seniors, but I mean, at least they didn't have
a lot of guys in this class
6 years in college or whatever it was. I mean, they got out in time. I like the athletic profiles of both, and I think that it's an exciting development for a defense that we were very worried about and still are pretty concerned about. I mean, at the end of the day, the defense is still going to be a concern next year, but these are 2 guys that will definitely push them in the direction of being more competitive. And let's face it, in an AFC West that is all of a sudden rife with talent, I mean, the Chiefs needed to hit home runs here. Yeah, Justin, let's take another edge and wide receiver tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to the post-draft analysis. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah. You said home runs, and I felt like the analogy we were going with was doubles, but it is what it is. We're Kansas City, and we're using baseball terms. We'll take literally any offense that we can. Just get on base.
Yes.
It's the Chiefs, not the Royals, thankfully.
Cool.
Well, Taylor, you ready to sign off? Thanks to all of our Birds of War for joining us for this very special first ever live stream of
thanks guys.
Kingdom. It's been amazing. We're going to be back this weekend. We'll probably pop on, I don't know, sometime on Saturday. Kind of depends on what we're doing.
Yeah, we'll probably record
we'll have a
recap show and push it as our normal pod episode. We probably won't do YouTube stuff unless certainly we could probably do our emergency pods like this. This, like I said, our first foray into it, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Go Chiefs, and let's see what they do tomorrow.
It's always sunny in Chiefs Kingdom, baby.
Bye.